What's up, dudes? It's your host, JP Johnson. Welcome to another episode of Life on Blast. This episode's a very special episode and a very sensitive subject that we're talking about. We are discussing fertility, and we welcome a wonderful couple to the show. And we're going to have some notes and stuff and some websites in the footnotes. So please check us out. I just wanted to plug just a few things before we start. First off, my poetry group, Writers on the Block, did a Black Lives Matter zine. It is free. It is filled with all kinds of poetry supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. It is for free. We also have a PDF file for you to download at home if you want to print it out, save us a few bucks. If not, email us at wotb.redlands@gmail.com and get yourself your free zine. I have 2 poems in it. It is amazing. Other than that, if you're listening to us on, say, Spotify, YouTube, or iTunes, or a homemade radio wave concoction that you made, I don't know why you're listening to this podcast. You should be like talking to aliens or whatever. But please take a second, follow us on Podbean, life or on blast with jp.podbean.com. That's ONBLAST with jp.podbean, PODBEAN.com. Check us out. We have some premium services. Dude, starting $3 a month, you can listen to all kinds of bonus episodes. We're going to be doing a raffle here at the end of August, so jump in so you can get your name on that. We got some Life on Blast stuff to give away, and that's about it. So thank you again for listening, and enjoy this wonderful, heartwarming episode where I somehow find the gall to bring up my balls. The galls of my balls, if you would. So sit back, relax, enjoy this episode. Thank you so much, and deuces. What's up, guys? It's your host, JP Johnson, and welcome to another episode of Life on Blast. Yo, we have a very stacked guest list. We are welcoming back a prior guest, Alyse Dietzman.
Hi, thanks for having me back.
Yay. And then you also brought along your better half, second half, bottom half.
Bottom half.
Always bottom half.
Always a power bottom you are. Mateo Dietzman. What's up? And then joining us in the far corner of the room, my lovely, ever so elegant, better half, top half, because I will destroy her if she's the bottom half, Alyse Ream.
Hello. Hi, way over there.
We are socially distancing, so Amy and Mateo are in a closet somewhere on an undisclosed location, and we are in the bedroom where we fuck. Is that right, Alyse?
Oh, yeah.
And speaking about bedrooms of where we fuck, we are talking about today. I almost forgot the word. Alyse?
Fertility.
I just wanted to say like bonarias. Because when you have gonorrhea, you have a baby afterwards, right?
Oh,
Yes.
The literal dad joke.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, listener. My name's Dad. That was even worse. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is my last episode. I'm done. I'm going away for good.
Oh, you didn't get canceled yet? I thought
Not yet,
so.
man. Oh, dude, we have a couple episodes that are being edited, and we are probably going to be canceled. So
We'll at least get a letter.
or something. I don't know. I mean, with our president now, I'm pretty sure we're safe. We're fine. So we brought you. Alyse asked to specifically do this episode on the topic of fertility because you as a couple, Amy and Mateo have gone on a wild journey, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Some ups, some sad downs, some loop-de-loos, whatever that sexual position is when the other person's hanging from a wire and you're
The
standing
Mission
upside down.
Impossible.
Tom Cruise?
Yeah, the Tom Cruise. Yes.
That's it.
The Tom Cruise labia bruise. That's
Oh, wow.
If you're bruising it, you're doing it wrong.
Isn't it if you bruise it, you lose it, right?
Say so.
There are some that like to be bruised, and that's okay though.
And that
too.
is okay.
We
If you
have
like-
some that
Yeah,
are
so-
good with that and like that. And
Yeah, so what Elisa's saying is we bruise our genitalia
we
a lot.
bruise. We don't always lose.
Yeah,
Sometimes
we-
you gain.
Hot.
Yes, you gain in the pain. Pain and gain, vaginal gape. Oh, God. Okay.
no.
So
Take a shot every time.
All aboard the Bruise Cruise.
we had one episode where the word vaginal gape was on, and now it's finding it in all future episodes. My God.
And now that's 2 shots. You're welcome.
2 shots for vaginal gape. 3. Wait for the 4th. So you guys have been trying to have a baby. How long?
Since we got married.
Yeah.
So 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
And how's that been, Amy?
It
Mateo?
sucked.
Yeah. Okay. So we've talked about this off the air, and you guys have gone through a lot, done a lot, and we want to hear about your story because, like you said, Amy, this is kind of something that isn't talked about amongst people. It's kind of a no-no area for some people.
It's considered very private, I would say.
Yeah.
In the past, women's fertility and sexuality in general, anything including or relating to a vagina or uterus has been something that we just don't talk about.
Yeah.
And I think our society, just the openness that we've discussed before, we're talking about these things, and 1 in 8 women will have some kind of fertility issue or endometriosis,
Okay.
something up with
Yeah.
their lady parts.
Yes.
So it's more common, and we don't really talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for a while, people were talking about like population control and this and that, and now that we are very low on the reproduction of society and stuff like that, fertility should be something, because for you guys, like being an outside party looking in, you guys did go through a lot of stuff. You guys want to talk about that? Like what you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we got married 4 years ago, April,
Mazel tov.
we started trying right away.
Not quite right away. We were scared about Zika for a minute.
Oh my
Everybody
God,
remember
yeah.
Zika?
Oh, yeah.
We went
Yes.
to the Caribbean on our honeymoon
Oh,
during the
man.
height of Zika, and both of our moms were so freaked out.
2016's
Yes.
COVID,
Yes.
Would do anything to go back to Zika times
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Wait a second, wasn't there? I mean, there had to have been something else that was going on when that pandemic
Nope.
happened.
Nope, nothing.
There should have been. I mean,
Nothing
It
in
was a
memory.
pandemic, you know.
I don't remember anything about it other than
Late 2016? No,
Yeah. I mean, who was in charge then? It should have gotten way out of hand with our president at that time, right?
Okay, so thank God we got married during Obama's term, and then
Hashtag.
Trump. Hashtag. I miss
Hashtag.
Obama.
I was gonna say shout. I meant to say shout out Obama, not
Happy
hashtag.
belated
Well,
birthday.
whatever.
Happy belated.
Let's go with it. And then he became president that November, and that was the beginning of the dark times. We just kept trying. We're both pretty healthy, but we were in our 30s, and we started doing it without the condoms or the control,
Ayo.
and it just didn't happen. So we went to the doctor, and we found out that my fallopian tubes sucked, and we were probably never going to have kids naturally.
Fuck. Okay.
So we did try one less invasive procedure called an IUI, where I went on hormones, and it was not that big of a deal, but it didn't work. And they were like, what you should do is IVF, in vitro fertilization, which is super hardcore and expensive.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, guess we're never doing that, because that's just not,
affordably.
Yeah,
we're not millionaires.
15,000 to 30,000.
Try like 30. Yeah.
It depends where you go.
We kind of just sat with that information for a few months, and we're like talking about what we were going to do. We talked about adoption and fostering. And then I decided to do 23andMe. And through 23andMe...
She didn't decide. This was the weirdest Christmas present ever, what she's about to tell you.
I'm sorry. Mateo gave me 23andMe for Christmas because I was looking, for some family on my dad's side.
Yeah.
My mom hadn't kept good touch. Long story short, I get 23andMe, and I discover that my parents used a sperm donor to conceive me, never told me, and at that time, I was one of 19 half-siblings. We're up to 28 half-siblings now that I know of. There's probably
so wild.
Lots more. So I came from infertility. I didn't even know it. My mom never told me. It was kind of a big deal.
That's everyone's biggest fear is like finding out like, oh, you're adopted or your parents are, like that was my biggest fear was like just one day like, oh, hey, by the way, we aren't your parents. Here's your parents, and like some crazy old couple that is just like, hey, welcome, come, you are a child, you are now Valation. I don't know what accent that was, but
everything you thought you knew
isn't
somehow what it was. Everything, your whole life is different now.
Oh, it was an episode like I thought of like the show Sister Sister or like something like that where I'm like, what the F?
Yeah.
And my mom was, as my mom is just like really monotone about it, like. She doesn't have a lot of emotions. I think I made up for that with the emotions part. I have all of hers.
You have all of hers.
And she'll never hear this. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, she wouldn't know how to work
she'll never find this. No, not to you. Just insult to her, not to you.
It's fine. I'll take that. She's not here to be upset. I'll be upset for her.
Yeah.
She will occurs, Amy.
Oh my goodness. So when I found out, I was a little upset, but I think I was more understanding because here I am going through this, and I understand that you'll do anything to have a kid.
Yeah.
And so I was like, it's cool, Mom, it's chill.
You were. I remember when you found out, and you were just like, yeah, so by the way, I have a bunch of siblings now.
I loved it.
That's
very casual.
Yes.
Like, BT dubs.
I remember telling you this. And then 2 weeks later, she calls me and is like, hey, what if I pay for your fertility treatments? Would you want to do IVF? Like, I'll pay for it. And I'm sure that wasn't out of guilt or
anything. Yeah.
Yes.
And we talked about it, and I was like, let's do it. So I went through the whole thing, taking hormones. I went through an egg retrieval. Mm-hmm. I went under anesthesia 3 times in a year. Countless doctor's appointments. Some very uncomfortable, lots of drugs.
Yeah.
Mateo got over his fear of needles to give me multiple shots. I mean, like hundreds.
So, Mateo, what was your thinking on all this? Like, besides finding out the craziness behind Amy's parents, but like, what was your thinking being told that? You're probably going to have to go do fertility.
Well, I was 1,000% sure when we first started that it was an issue with me, with my swimmers, and I was convinced, and it ended up being her. But those things don't matter to me at all.
Oh, he's been the best.
There's no blame or fault or anything.
That's just being a man. Like, it's normally 100% our fault all the time.
Yes.
So I see where you're going, and you're like, oh, we can't have a kid. What am I doing wrong? It's me.
And he smoked weed, and they say if you smoked weed.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, and then you're like,
your mom better not be listening to this now.
No, it's medicinal.
You're like, oh my God. You're like, I smoked that joint back in high school. I can't have kids now. But,
He's been so supportive.
Yeah.
Like, this guy.
Yeah.
I did have a fear of needles, and I still am the person, if I get my blood drawn, I look to the left, and I can't watch it actually being done. But, but I feel like...
me too, dude. Me too.
Giving other people shots...
I want to see it.
I feel like I'm an expert now at, mixing and taking the different needle heads off and all the things you have to do.
So if you guys ever turn to heroin, you're fucking right there.
Honestly,
It can be sanitized. It can be smart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He actually started to enjoy it, like with some of the bigger needles that really hurt. He's like, "You ready? We just had a fight." He's like, "Yeah, this big ass needle in your ass? Yeah, bitch, shut up."
No,
He's like, wait.
It did turn into a ritual though during the times where we would have to give her shots. There'd be a nightly thing and use the little heating pad, and that's when I know she was starting.
and then you guys got to fuck after that, right?
So, no.
That's why you're like, hell yeah, I get to inject her twice. Oh, gross. Oh.
That is something that is kind of weird because sex for a while before the treatments, like, okay, I'm ovulating, you have to come home and we have to have sex, like, right now. And it's like, how romantic is that? When it's like... it just becomes this, like, utility.
It's forced, yeah.
But,
like, my eggs are dropping. Get that dick hard. Let's go.
By the way, you have to have sex with me right now. And he's like, okay. No, just... But it was fine, but it kind of became, like, this weird thing.
Yeah.
It
takes the stuff out of it that you want. The
romance, the fluff.
But, yeah, it was tough on both of us. I mean, of course, it was tough on me because it was my body.
Mm-hmm.
But it was real tough on him because me on hormones, not a good time.
Ooh.
Yes, and this is a real thing.
I was awful. And you can't drink, do anything fun. Caffeine.
Smoke.
You're bored. You're just bored and you're on all these hormones that make you feel crazy and everything's heightened. And... I wouldn't wish that on anybody. And they make you fat, too.
Aww.
That's just like having kids. All of that.
You're irritated all the time. Yeah. You're getting fat. You're yelling at
you enjoy poking each other with needles.
It's like mad scientist on your body. I mean, science is amazing that I even had the opportunity to try.
Yeah.
It hasn't worked yet. We're still in the process of continuing. We've
got rent for a frozen embryo we have to pay.
Oh my God.
This month.
We have 5-day-old babies in a freezer in Irvine.
Aww.
We had 9, we used 4 so far and it has not worked. And during the break, COVID started, so but we needed a break, so I'm happy to have this break right now.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing too.
So, you guys, you talked a little bit about the possibility of adoption. So, I mean, let's put that on blast with adoption. You guys, you did some research on that, correct? On that. So, I mean, I know people want to have their own children, kind of like, it's yours, but like, what was the issue? Because I think we talked about it a little bit about like adoption.
If we hadn't been given the opportunity to do IVF, or if I had known that it wouldn't work, because I thought this was a shoo-in.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going to be how it's been for us. If I'd known then what I know now, we just would have went to adoption. But the thing people don't know is adoption also is very expensive and very hard.
Very hard, yeah.
Yes. So you can foster to adopt, which is probably what we're going to look into doing. Yeah. I don't need to be genetically related. That would be
amazing. You guys would do so good at that.
But,
I like kids.
But I mean, there's an issue, or not an issue. There's something that we talked about a little bit off mic, Amy, is that traditionally most of the children that are for adoption have a lot of medical problems. And I've seen working at a hospital, interacting with some adopted children. It's a gnarly road. Some of those parents are some of those foster parents are going to the doctors 2 to 3 times a day for just one child. And like there's one, I can't name names, but she's a wonderful foster mom, and she's had over 80 kids in her care. And sadly, we were talking recently, one of her children that she did finalize the adoption passed away. And like they were born right off the bat with tons of different medical issues. And sadly, she had to like bury them at a young age. And that's what people don't understand is like, yes, the adoption. Let's put that shit on blast, dude. Back in the day, in the early 1900s, it was a weird like way of human trafficking.
Oh my god, don't even get me started. There's a Behind the Bastards episode. If you ever listen to that podcast.
BT Dubs.
Oh God.
This podcast, Behind the Bastards, has been mentioned on Life on Blast several times.
Has it?
Yes.
It's one of my favorite.
We've seen him live a couple times. Robert Evans. He's an amazing journalist, an amazing podcaster. He has several podcasts, Behind the Pleas and Worst Year Ever. I highly recommend.
Jeff Bezos.
If you want to be woke. No, just kidding.
I have listened to a couple episodes. It is one. Yes, Life on Blast will plug that. Behind the Bastards. It's a great podcast.
But Georgia Tan, she started. It was basically child trafficking, stealing children from poor families and selling them to the rich. That's how adoption started, and it's not much different right now.
Yeah. Like I was speaking to the mom in question. Like I said, can't give names or anything other than just some basic information. There were several times where she wanted to adopt a child, and they had to go through so many different. Like the first one she tried to adopt, unfortunately, like it wasn't until they were like 18 that they finally got. Noticed as the parents, and she had them since they were like 1.5, and it was just so many backflips and this and that, and it is rough, man. And like, yes, if you're able to adopt, please do. There are there are hundreds of thousands of children without parents, and adoption should be easier, you know?
Yes.
But then that also brings up a problem because, I mean, people talk about, like we just talked, like most of the kids that are up for adoption have medical issues. I mean, let's talk about that. Like, if you're going to adopt, the first ones that should be adopted, and this is my belief, should be those that are medically fragile. I think, and the reason why is because they need the most love and care, and I feel like if adoption was like going to the pound, and you're like, just give me the cutest one and the youngest one, and like I've had people say like, oh, if I'm gonna adopt, it's got to be like a fresh baby. It's like, no, what about that like 10-year-old whose parents are gone, or like what are your thoughts on that? Let's
I think you definitely have to have empathy as your number one priority if you're gonna do that. And I mean, maybe you get the kid that you're talking about, or maybe, you know, somebody completely healthy. I don't know if you go into that knowing or not.
Yeah, I don't.
But you have to, if you're going to adopt, you have to be cool with whatever you're going to get. Yeah. You know, if that's
like
at either end of the spectrum.
Yeah. You don't really get to pick.
No, exactly.
So,
and that's how it would be if the goal was actually placing these children and not making money off of them and not
for sure
making money off of everyone else who's trying to adopt.
This is somebody starting out life, and you have to do all you can to make that person's life as good as you can. A valid,
Oh, I hear Amy's
life.
ovaries just
with all the things everybody should have.
Someone needs an ejection right now.
I think my fallopian tube just grew back right now.
Oh,
5 times larger.
Her fallopian tubes grew 5 times the size that day.
No, but my ovaries did.
Ovaries. Oh yeah, they got big.
Oh my god.
Damn, girl, how big your ovaries though?
Like the size of softballs, and they're normally the size of walnuts.
Dude, that's the way to. Are you flexing right now?
No, I'll show you a picture though if you want to see the inside of my uterus.
No,
absolutely.
Oh, Jesus, babe.
This is woman
Dude, I
stuff.
have a picture.
Pictures, or is it like, do we have to just like pull up your dress? Oh my god. Okay.
Oh god, John.
Jesus Christ.
Like
I'm canceled. I'm fucking canceled.
Well, you know what though? I want to actually go back to Amy when you were saying that we don't talk about this very much. Mm-hmm. But you know who does talk about this stuff? Is a room full of men.
Oh my god. Yeah.
So I mean, that's
rooms full of men. Like, let's put that on blast for a second, because it does go back to women's rights, and it does go back to, we have to be quiet and just, deal with our thing, and then, no one needs to know. And it does with all the other rights we're going through right now. Women's rights are also a huge thing that is still not won.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, we've talked about that several times. Like, when did human rights become a law? Like, when did that become like a political issue on like what a woman does with her body? Which should, like you said, it's a room full of fucking men.
Room.
Yeah. Nah, dude, it should be.
There doesn't need to be any men in that. I mean, I guess, or half and half. Like, let's share. Like, let's share the burden.
A gay man.
Yeah,
let's share the burden.
Just one, yes, queen.
Yes.
If any group of women need anything, it's one yes queener in the back. Just yes queen. And like, I mean, I'm down for that. Like dudes, we need to get the fuck out of there. I mean, when it comes to like women's rights, I don't have a vagina. I've never had to have an abortion. I've never had issues that like where I had to go to the doctors and be like, oh my god, can I have this? Can I have something done, or is it illegal? Like, you shouldn't have to worry about that.
I would love to touch on that.
Touch, baby.
I mean, being an infertile woman, of course, I would love to get pregnant, but I support every woman's right to choose.
Yes.
What's right for them.
Yep.
It is a choice, and when we're trying to end abortion, we're trying to end legal abortion, which is in a clinic in a safe space. Mandated, controlled. We're not going to end abortion by making it illegal.
Yeah.
We're going to make abortion more dangerous for women.
Yes.
Because women are still going to try all the things they tried before it became legal.
Because the reason for it is serious. They're not just flippantly going around and just, I've had unprotected sex. Now I'm going to just go and, just get an abortion. It's very personal. It's very real. It's they are not ready right now for whatever the reason is.
So, would you be willing to put yourself on blast there, Alyse, a little bit?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Myrtle.
Yeah.
So before we talk about the abortion stuff, our youngest child, Bronson, who is 4 in November. Holy shit.
I can't believe it.
When I was 21, I got hit by a car. And found out that I had a tumor on my balls, and that's what happens. You get hit by a car, you find out that you have testicular cancer. They cut it out. The surgeon is fresh out of medical school, has no idea what he's doing, and tells you in a room by yourself that the procedure we had to do mimicked that of a vasectomy, so you will be 98% infertile. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that sucks because I want kids. But then after that, it was like, condoms, who needs that? Spit out the window. And then I met this lovely, beautiful 4'11" babe.
With a beautiful child who's going to be 7 on August 30th this month.
Already had my future son. He already, and we started dating and hooking up, just fucking. And I remember one time you told me, you're like, maybe you should wear a condom. And I was like, nah, babe, listen. We don't need a condom. Because these balls have been tucked and tipped and cut and sliced and nipped. And I can't have children.
And you've tried for years.
Tried.
Or not tried, right?
Yeah, like not tried. Nut tried. Nut, who's there? A baby. And I was like, no, I can't have kids. It's fine. She becomes pregnant. What's the first thing I do? Like a fucking toxic man? Is it, how can it be mine? So I went to the doctors, to check, and the boys are back in business. They're shooting at fucking 80% of fertility. Holy shit. Yeah, yep. Fuck that doctor. I wish I remembered his name. I think
the body can repair itself, which is a really interesting thing, though, too.
Oh, but it can't repair my body.
But John's
my body
if there's anywhere it's focused on, it's his balls.
Yeah, the rest of my body is like fucking. Fuck that shit, dude. Focus everything on the balls. But what about his lungs? Fuck it. He can wheeze through sex. It's good. But doesn't he have a weird bald spot? Fuck. You know what? Dude, focus on the balls and everything will fall into place.
Oh, I love you.
And then she became pregnant, and
we have a little. How long? 3 months into our relationship.
I remember when he came to my house to tell me. I don't think I'd even met you yet.
I was pregnant at your wedding?
Yes.
Did you go back
no
to your
one
wedding?
knew, but I knew.
Yeah.
You knew. You figured it out in another.
When he told me, it was right when Prince died, and he came to my apartment.
That is right.
Prince records. And we got really drunk, and he told me that he just knocked up this chick he'd started dating, and I was like, what the fuck?
I didn't say knock up. I said I fucking trapped her.
Nailed it.
Trapped her. Figure out what he was gonna do. He literally at that night was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then I met you, and I was like, oh, I like you.
Yeah. I wanted to put a ring on it since day one.
He did talk about baby trapping right before I found out I was pregnant, too.
I totally made a joke.
Funny.
Did not realize. That was God saying, commit to the joke. Commit to the joke. She's pregnant now. What are you going to do? What the fuck are you going to do? Come on, Mr. Improv Man. Yes, and. Yes, and.
You can do this just improv, being a dad.
I'm just waiting for, like, out of nowhere, God to just show up. And I'm like, oh my God, it's our Lord and Savior. And he's like, and scene.
He's like, get the joke.
Oh boy. So, back to you, baby. About women's rights and abortion. So, would you like to put yourself on blast, or do you want me to blast on you, all over you?
Oh wow.
Eric, we could cut this off into a bonus episode.
A boner episode? No, we're putting this shit on blast.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Anthony, my firstborn, he's from another relationship, as we stated.
Yeah.
And before him, I had been pregnant a couple of other times and didn't go through with it.
First time, though, was medically necessary, right?
There was one time. I wasn't really talking about that one. I was just talking about elective.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is about fertility, so let's talk about
the first time.
The
the very first time I got pregnant, but when they went in, there was no baby. It was just the sac and the everything to nourish a baby, but no baby.
So you just had an apartment complex with no...
Yes.
Sorry. Fuck.
So I had to have a procedure called a DNC where they basically just...
Did they put you to sleep for that?
I feel like they...
Yeah, I had one of those.
Did?
Yeah.
Maybe not asleep, but like highly drugged, yeah.
They just scrape the shit out of your uterus. That's what that procedure is. They call it a DNC, which means... I don't know what it stands for.
Oh, dirty, nasty cow.
Oh, I don't know.
Dissolving.
Oh, I work in an OBG clinic too.
Children.
I don't remember.
I will stop. I will do what I tell all the men on the podcast. Shut the fuck up and let the women talk.
Dilation and curettage?
Yes.
I Googled it.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Instead of being a terrible man,
That's bad.
trying to guess what the fuck it is.
That's my husband. He has to Google it.
Good. Thank you, Mateo. Savior.
Happened. I was actually...
We're actually a Bing household.
Oh my god.
I'm kidding. Nobody uses Bing.
Okay, babe. So.
Okay, I was...
Yeah, that's okay. Bing. I just thought about that. You're right. Nobody uses Bing.
That's like Ask Jeeves. Get the fuck out of here.
AOL.
Alta Vista.
Okay, all right, you old fucks. Babe, can you please talk about your vagina?
Yes, so at that time I was actually 17.
Okay, oh yeah. So your body wasn't really, like, ready yet, you know? So it didn't know what it was doing, and, I mean, that sucks. That happens, though, a lot, right? Especially with, like,
First pregnancies, working in an OBGYN clinic, I see that a lot, where it's the first one, and... It just sometimes just your body's like, okay, I like the idea, but maybe not yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm setting up property, but I'm not ready to have tenants yet.
Now I've learned how to do that, and so now this next time, then I can go ahead and make it happen.
And, a lot of women don't talk about that, and the miscarriages. We're told not to announce until after 3 months in case something happens.
Yeah.
But why? We can't talk about that?
The reason
why and then we have to go through it alone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I mean...
Because it'll make men uncomfortable. You don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, that should be... no, I'm not... Like, I have a sister who had that happen recently. It was... Yes. No. This is... Okay. So, when I say a sister, I have a weird relationship with my parents. My mom was in my life. My father was not. And... he had several different children from other women. He has 3 primary kids that he has with his current wife, and those are my siblings. So one of my siblings with on my father's side just had that happen to her, and it was tragic. Like, I talked to her, and it was it was her first pregnancy, and she's still bouncing back from that. And then her sister, my other sister, is pregnant again, pregnant as well. This is her second child, and her first child almost fucking killed her, and now she's like back on like high red alert again. It's gnarly. But so bouncing back to you, Alyse, you then had other pregnancies that you did not keep, right?
That I didn't keep. Yep. And I mean, the first one I did, it was with my ex.
Yes.
And he basically told me, you either do this or I'm going to resent you.
Oh, fuck.
So it was very forced that time where I was like, okay, well, yeah, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And I was 18 at that time, so still pretty, young.
Yeah.
I mean, not that it matters at any age if you feel like you're not ready, but that time I was just like, okay, so I went through that one. And then a couple years later, we got pregnant again, and still just wasn't really, I guess, ready. I don't really even remember the particulars of it.
Well, I mean, it was a toxic relationship.
It was a very toxic relationship. We would break up, get together. He would be seeing other people and hiding it.
Well, I mean, no, just kidding. No, that's bad.
But it was like...
it was like one of those things where it's like, oh, do we really, want to do that? And then by the time Anthony came, then it was like, well, I can't do it again.
Yeah, and you were like, fuck it. And you put your foot down, and good on you, man, because I love that stupid little monster of a man.
And shortly after he was born, I realized how toxic it was, and I realized I didn't want him to see us like that. I didn't want him to see us fighting and always breaking up and getting back together. So I, ended it and found you, and now here we are on the podcast.
And I'm a daddy.
And you're a daddy.
That was one of my things growing up. I always wanted to be a dad because my dad was out of the picture. So I had also thought about adoption, because when you're 21 years old and this this surgeon who did surgery on your balls, who's also probably 2 months younger than you, tells you that, hey dude, sorry, fucked up, your balls are broken.
Did you say 2 months younger?
Probably. This kid, I honestly thought it was 2 10-year-olds in a trench coat. This guy is fucking young. And I even think I think he called me bro. I'm pretty sure he said, bro, listen. And I was just like, yo, where'd you go to school? He's like, bro, I went to online. And yo, dude, I checked your dick out, and dick is pristine, bro. Listen, I don't want to be pushy, but maybe a circumcision. Well, yeah, by the way, your balls are broken though, dog. Yeah, man, we had to get that you had a lump on that shit. That was weird, dude. You ever seen a lumpy ball sack? That shit got me all fucking but it's cool though. We just slit your sack, get to that, slit, slat, get to that, get down. You like that? Yo, I got a fucking SoundCloud. Check me out, dog.
Oh my god.
And yeah, that guy was a fucking moron, dude.
Listeners, feel free to put a beat to that.
Yeah. Slit, slap, balls out. Slit, slap, get your balls out. Slit, slap, balls out. Slit, slap, balls out.
It's good. I think you got something there.
Oh man, and I'm just what?
Ability.
So when I had after that was a relationship with a girlfriend who had a kid. So I was like, okay, perfect. I don't need to have children. I have one. Then that relationship ended. Then I got with a heroin addict. As we do. I think, right? Everyone at least has to date one heroin addict in their life, right?
No,
I never
missed
did
that one.
Well,
I've had some coke
meth addict. Dilaudid, I guess, counts. That's opiate.
You had a date with a crackhead, didn't you?
Meth, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure.
Meth. Hold on.
Sorry.
How dare you? But and then after that, I started seeing what I thought were stable people. They were not. And but on my last serious relationship, I was thinking maybe I will adopt if it ever comes down, because she had an issue with children, and she had a fertility problem as well, she thought. Mm-hmm. And then the next relationship after that, she also had a fertility problem. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, maybe I'm just not going to have kids. So I thought about adoption and looked into it. And it was, it's a rough thing. And I kind of want to bring that back around to the topic of fertility, so I'm not just talking about my balls.
Are we talking about... I thought this episode was about your balls. I'm so sorry. What?
Snip, snap, cut your sack. Snip, snap, cut your sack.
Catchy.
Snippity, snappity, snippity, snap.
Snippity, snappity, snappity, snap. Snippity, snappity, snap the snap. Y'all, we're gonna cut those balls. Jesus.
Snip your balls. I'm gonna snip those balls.
I thought you said sniff.
Snip
your balls for cancer.
Everybody has their thing. It's fine.
Yeah. So moving forward on that, God, where do we go from here?
Well,
should
if
we
you'd
rein
like
it
to
in a little bit?
talk about weird doctor's visits and the insurance aspects of, being infertile.
It's an elective in the United States. Canada, the UK, Ireland, Australia, they cover partial fertility stuff.
Okay.
Here, it's zero.
America, no.
Of course.
No,
America's medical system has no one's back. No. I mean, they'll let you fall on your back and then be buried 6 feet under before they got your back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They'll stick all sorts of weird tubes and probes in you.
Yeah.
But it's expensive.
And then, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mateo.
I was going to say, so basically when you start doing fertility, they want you to get an STD test.
Isn't that a whole different fucking realm of worry?
And they give you the option because nothing with fertility is covered, through your healthcare in America. Of paying for the STD test, which is not a crazy amount, but still comes out of your wallet.
Yeah.
Or you can just go to the doctor and say, hey, I had a wild night. Can you look at my dick and give me some blood work and see what's a brewing in here? And
those are the literal words.
That's what I had to do. I had to show a guy my dick.
Yes.
And be it's like.
But what's funny is our doctor told us to do that.
Yes.
Our fertility doctor said you can either pay us to do it, or you can go to your doctor and get STD tested, and say that you had a wild night in Vegas, and you want to be STD tested. And I just looked at her and I was like, "What?" And she goes, "Oh, well, you can just say anything." I was like,
as long as what you say isn't that you need it for fertility reasons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then they charge you.
We could say
it can't be on your chart.
Yeah,
like that.
So that is what I said.
Smart.
I literally said that because I was actually in Vegas.
Okay.
The day of the shooting, but downtown.
Ooh.
Very random.
Yeah.
But I actually started my fertility testing the next week. So that was a rough week.
So a little life on blast tip. If you are sexually active, and we talked about it in the past prior episode where Amy was on with the hookup culture and just being sexually active. Yo, test your fucking genitalia. Test that fucking that shit, dude. And it's not just for peace of mind, but it's also the safety of others. If you're going to be going out there having sexual intercourse, and if you were hit by a car and told by a 16-year-old that they're going to have to cut your ball sack open, and it'll probably take the ball sack itself, the testicle, besides the lump, and then have to fucking jigsaw that shit back up and say, oh, maybe your balls don't work. Get tested, too. Because, I mean, you're going to be you're going to think you're invincible and not wear a condom. And guess what? Now you got the drip drop, dude. So be safe.
Drop.
What exactly is the drip drop?
That's that drip drop, drippity drop. Everybody has a sloppy cock. So you really got to protect yourself and others, because I mean, guess what? The health industry doesn't have your back most of the time. So you got to be safe and use that line. Go to your primary doctor. Say, "Yo, I had a wild night. My dick is weird."
And STDs can affect your fertility. To bring it back to fertility, if you do have any kind of anything wrong with you, it can affect your fertility.
And if you have fertility issues, you get to go in rooms with several people and have them look at your dick and make sure it's cool. And then you get to go in another room and jerk off.
Ooh, that's a nice Wednesday night.
That was fun for him.
They had a television, but I did not use it. I was just like, I can do this free form.
So you're not using medical grade pornography?
It's like, I don't want to figure out their
Being a
Roku
man, once
or
again.
Fire Stick or whatever TV they have, the remote. No, I don't want to deal with that.
No.
I just want to.
So in this whole process, says all he had to do every time we would do
my
something,
phone. That was...
he would jerk off, and I would be in another room getting blood taken,
labs weekly,
labs,
ultrasounds,
having things just shoved in me, multiple times, multiple people looking down there, and he's in another room just getting off. I had no orgasms the entire time in the doctor's office.
This was one time at the office. The other times were at home, and then you have to get there within a half hour.
You have to get there.
The only thing that would be better is if they would have handed him some money afterwards, right?
Oh!
They didn't. I'm surprised they didn't, Alyse.
Grab some lunch. We know how jerking off is very tiresome.
You look exhausted.
Would you like a bottle of water? Maybe
You're just sitting there with a bottle of water and a magazine.
Just like, dude, the doctors are cool, man. I just get to go in the room, jerk off, watch fucking medical grade pornography.
And
Amy, I don't know why you're being such a bitch.
No.
They're like wheeling you out in a wheelchair.
I paid $100 for him to try for the cup. It was $800. Oh my god.
Oh man, if I had $1 for every time I had to pay $800 to jerk off, Jesus.
Right?
Jesus.
Men. Anyways.
Fuck the patriarchy, right?
Honestly,
Fuck
fuck
the
it.
patriarchy.
Man, but let's. Oh man, god damn it, dude. So what are some like some good words of or no? I'm sorry, we're gonna do the life on blast. We're getting close to the end of it, so you guys got any final words? Mateo? So for people that are going through like the process of maybe going through treatments or from the man's perspective, like what would you say to be a supportive, because you're very supportive. I mean, from like the get-go, like Amy has did nothing but praise.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I would just say, yeah, you have to be supportive. You're probably going to have to maybe do some things you're uncomfortable with, and
jerk off in the hospital.
You're going to have to drive somebody home who's been drugged.
Oh.
That's real fun.
But yeah, and you just have to keep the hope up. That's it. I mean, it hasn't worked out for us yet, but I think our hope is still there, and if it doesn't happen, that still has to be good. Is a lot of couples, I don't know the exact statistics, but like it rips some of them apart.
Yeah.
That's a real thing, and but if you're strong, you can get through it.
Yeah, and you have to be strong.
Either way,
because if you're strong enough to want to bring life into this world, you have to be strong to go through the process.
Yes.
Like, and that's on all facets. Like, whether it's a natural pregnancy and you have to be there, especially with I want to say with men, because we don't do much. We get on top of you or behind you, make a few pumping noises
on the other side of that wall with a hole in it.
Yeah, or just in the other side of the wall.
He's undercutting himself, you guys. Like it's not
like a pump pass out.
Oh my god! Okay.
And then like there's this whole stigma of like, oh, the dad just kind of is there. Like, no, dude, you got to be fucking involved. Like when Alyse was pregnant, I was involved. I was there. Yeah. I was getting her food. I was fucking rubbing her feet, rubbing her belly.
As you should.
Sucking my feet.
Sucking her feet. God damn it.
Sorry.
I was trying to get like sentimental, and then fucking here you come just talking about.
But back to Mateo.
Let's talk about sucking the
Mateo.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Doing things you don't want to do, Mateo, and going through that process.
Yeah.
And it's hard work to be
things
that
I was at first uncomfortable with, but not things I don't want to do, because I would do anything to
Oh my god.
all I can for this process. But like I said before, you have to go into it, being okay with either outcome that you might get.
Oh yeah. Well, people say parenting's hard. I hear that from all these parents that I know, but
It's easy.
From what I see on Instagram. But if you can go through this, if we can go through this together, I think parenting is going to be fairly fine, easy. We haven't killed each other yet. And honestly, we've gotten to know each other better.
Yeah.
Our strengths, our weaknesses. Yeah, it's been hard, but...
Yeah, there are definitely some highs when they're doing the actual implantation of the embryo.
It's actually pretty magical.
You're both there. Yeah. They wheel in the frozen caster. I don't know what the name of it is.
Mm-hmm.
With
that's
the
your
long
baby,
syringe.
and you get to see... basically your baby and just hope, and it's like this little glimmer.
That's beautiful.
But I would say for anyone going through infertility or anything really, it applies to anything, find a support system.
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually found my support system, of course through family and friends, but also Instagram.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Instagram is a thirst trap, and for weirdos, and
Yep.
we know. But also, there's all these different communities on there, and I fell into an IVF community where I got so many tips and so much advice, and all these women who were going through the same thing I was going through, and that made me feel not as alone, and gave me, hope, and just anytime you're going through anything, find a support system.
Yeah.
It might be outside of your friends and family, because I didn't have anyone that I could relate to at the time, at the beginning, that was going through what I was going through.
Yeah.
So that's important. Just support.
Yep.
For sure. Yeah.
That's great advice.
And baby, you got any final words on the topics we've been talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I think I just want to just touch on the human rights and the women's rights portion of it, and all of this is stigmatized. It's a stigma to not have a child. It's a stigma to have a child. It's a stigma, everything that you're going to do people with a child, everything they do with them is a problem. What you do, what you don't do.
Would you call it a stigmata?
Stigmata. And
stigmata.
Women, we do need to just continue to be involved and continue to keep fighting and continue just to say, I can make these decisions myself. It's not up to a room of, 25 men.
Yeah, that know nothing.
That, are just in it for money. Let's work together, definitely, but it's not up to you guys. It's up to all of us. And, the abortion thing, too, is we need to end that as well. There's reasons. There are valid reasons. And like I said, no woman takes it lightly. No woman just does it just because they just don't want to do it. There is usually a really good reason, whether it's money, whether it's a bad relationship, whether it's, their age, or whatever it is. There's usually a really good, probably even definitely heart-wrenching reason behind it. And it's a very emotional thing, and something to be respected too and talked about.
Yeah. And, I just want to say, guys, dudes, back the fuck up, man. If you're going to be in the picture and talk about fertility or talk about women's rights, it should be you saying, whatever you need, word. And that's it. Shut your fucking mouth. Straight up. It's not your... it is their choice. We have no say. I mean, if it comes to the baby, be there. Fucking man up. If she wants to keep it, you're there. You be there. Be a fucking dad. If they decide not to keep it, you got to be okay with that. You got to be like, okay, and then be by their side. And go ahead.
Sorry, I just also wanted to thank you guys. I wanted to touch back on your story because I'm really touched by your story, and to have this and be able to hear what you guys went through. It's a really beautiful journey. And
it's ongoing.
Oh, yeah.
It's still going, yes.
Yeah, when we start up again, we do have an Instagram, Dietz IVF 79. It's private, so you have to follow it and get approved because it's very private.
Yeah.
But if you want to follow along with our story and see what I've had to go through in the past and some cute pictures of my uterus.
Yes, beautiful.
And our embryos and all the magic and heartache and craziness that is this journey.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful journey, and you guys will be rewarded. And
better be. Goddamn,
you deserve so much. And we love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you
So,
much.
so now that we got all that heart wrenching stuff, selfless promotion time! Yay! So, Amy Dietzman, last time you were here, we talked about it a little bit. You are a massage therapist,
yes, correct? Technically still illegal in California.
Allegedly
illegal. Don't even get me started, but you can find me at Relaxation by Amy on all the social medias, and you can find my stuff there and hit me up.
Yeah, slip it a DM, but no nudity.
No dick pics, please.
No dick pics.
I've gotten massages from Amy. She's amazing.
Yes.
Aww.
Yes.
Yeah, you should get on my table soon, girl. It's been a minute.
Yes.
Me, please.
Him
Find
too.
me
Him
at
first.
Relaxation
I
by
have
Amy,
to step
because I don't have an
selflessly.
IG.
Oh my god, Mateo does not have an Instagram because he's too cool.
My Instagram is Relaxation by Amy.
Hey, there you go.
That's right,
Smart,
because he shares
smart.
my money, so he's not stupid.
Nice. All right. And Alyse, baby, you got some stuff to plug.
Oh, her art.
My artwork, as
Yay.
always, I have a shop on Society 6 where you can see all of my artwork. It's uploaded to the website. I don't have anything to do with any of the overhead or the products. Society 6 takes care of that. So I get a portion of the sales from anything that people buy. I also am an affiliate on there, so if anything I share off of the website, even if it's not my design, I actually get some money off of that too. So they have clocks and couches and bags and shirts and coasters and
then you can also follow along with your art through
Instagram.com, and then I'm at Alyse ALYSE _Elizabeth, which seems really long, and I think I'm going to change that. But Elizabeth, traditional spelling, Alyse _Elizabeth.
And then also Pinterest, right?
Pinterest, yeah, I do all that. Pinterest.
I mean, we're gonna plug it. We're gonna plug
Facebook.
it because I'm gonna plug it.
Hashtag Alyse Art. You can find me on there. That might be easier. Hashtag Alyse Art.
Yeah.
I work at a place called Board and Brush, and we do wooden
Oh,
signs. Yes. We're local here. Actually, they're everywhere. They actually started Midwest. So boardandbrush.com, check it out. You can make basically it's like a paint class. So you know how you go and do those classes with canvas, but in this class you make wooden signs and you get a stencil and you stain it and paint it.
That shit is
You
so
drink.
basic.
Oh, that's cool.
They have like Shania Twain in the background.
So many White Claws and Shania Twain.
Hey.
You walk in and every sign is live, laugh, pray or some shit.
My God.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my sister-in-law has one of those, and I went, oh my god, you have one of those? And she went, yeah, it's cool, huh? And I was like, yeah.
It is.
I felt so awkward.
Look at us now, living, laughing.
I love it. And then also, if you guys are listening to us on iTunes, Spotify, Pod Blaster, the brain waves from the alien demon sex that you had.
Do you mean Podbean? Podblaster?
Hold on. We do have a premium service on Podbean. So check us out. It is On Blast with jp.podbean, podbean.com. We have 3 tiers. First tier, you get a bonus episode. You will also get a bonus episode by the time that this is out with Mateo, Alyse and I, and past guest Fiona about glory holes. It is dope, so it should be up by the time you hear this. And then we will also give you one entry into a raffle. I'll be giving away some Life on Blast type stuff. And I will also be giving some Doodle Dad prints to the highest tier. The highest tier, you get automatically a signed print of a Doodle Dad piece. That is my alter ego. You can find some of my artwork at society6.com/dudeldad. DUDEELDAD. Also, I just want to say that I have a poetry group that I'm a part of, founded by Andy Carballo, a all-star fucking prior guest. Writers on the Block, we have a Black Lives Matter zine that has been printed and we are giving for free. That is our us giving to the Black Lives Matter movement. Check us out. I'll probably be plugging this in the beginning of the episode notes. But you guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for having us.
Of course, and putting your puss on blast.
Oh, yeah.
Snip, snap, snippy, snap.
Snip, snap, open your sack.
Flick that poppy.
Attach pictures on the
snap.
notes.
Flick that poppy.
Thanks for listening. Deuces.
Bye.
All right.